hanging from the ceiling of a fire station in Livermore, California, is a light bulb. It was turned on in 1901. It is still burning today. That bulb has been on for over 120 years. Meanwhile, the LED bulb you bought last year just burned out. Your printer stopped working the day the warranty expired, and your iPhone battery started dying at 20% just 2 years after you bought it. We all say the same phrase, they don't make them like they used to, but we treat it like a joke. We think technology is just complicated now, but it's not a joke. It is a calculated economic strategy. Things don't break because we can't make them last. They break because they are designed to fail. There's a secret date in history where the world's biggest companies decided to stop selling you products and start selling you trash. This is the story of the Phoebus Cartel, and it is the reason you are broke. The conspiracy began on Christmas 1924. In a luxury hotel in Geneva, Switzerland, a group of men in suits gathered for a secret meeting. These weren't politicians. They were the CEOs of the world's biggest light bulb companies. You had Philips from the Netherlands, Osram from Germany, General Electric from the USA. Together, they controlled the entire global supply of light bulbs. They had a problem. Their engineers were too good. By 1924, light bulbs were lasting 2,500 hours. Some lasted even longer. This was a disaster for business. If you buy a light bulb that lasts 20 years, you don't come back to the store. Sales were flattening. So, they formed a cartel. They named it Phoebus. Their goal was simple: sabotage the product. They signed a document agreeing to artificially limit the lifespan of all light bulbs to exactly 1,000 hours. Think about how insane that is. Engineers spent decades trying to make things better. Now, they were ordered to make them worse. If a factory produced a bulb that lasted 1,500 hours, the cartel fined them. They literally penalized innovation. By the 1940s, they had succeeded. The 2,500-hour bulb was extinct. The 1,000-hour bulb was the standard. They had successfully engineered the first instance of planned obsolescence. Once the corporations realized they could get away with this, the strategy spread like a virus. It moved from glass to fabric. In 1940, the chemical giant DuPont invented nylon. It was a miracle material. The first nylon stockings were virtually indestructible. You could tow a car with them. DuPont executives were thrilled for about 5 minutes. They realized that if women bought one pair of stockings that lasted forever, the company would go bankrupt. So, DuPont ordered their chemists back to the lab. Their instruction: make the fiber weaker. They changed the chemical formula to make the material more fragile to UV light and oxygen. They engineered the run in your stockings. Today, pantyhose rip if you look at them wrong. That isn't a failure of technology. It is a triumph of engineering. You might think, well, that was the old days. Surely laws prevent that now. Wrong. It's actually gotten worse. It just got digital. The most aggressive example is sitting in your home office right now. Your printer. Have you ever had a printer that just stopped working? It has ink, it has paper, but it flashes an error message like service life end and refuses to print? This is often caused by a tiny microchip inside the printer. Some manufacturers program a kill switch into the device. It counts the number of pages you print. Once you hit a specific number, say 10,000 pages, the chip tells the printer to commit suicide. They claim it's to prevent the ink pad sponge from overflowing. But tech enthusiasts have torn these printers apart and found the sponges are perfectly dry. They installed a digital expiration date to force you to buy a new $100 printer. This is theft. Imagine if your car engine shut off automatically after 50,000 miles, just because Ford wanted you to buy a new Focus. That is exactly what the printer industry does every day. But the king of planned obsolescence is the device you are holding right now. In 2017, a conspiracy theory turned out to be 100% true. For years, iPhone users complained that their phones got slower every time a new model came out. Apple called them crazy. They said it was just advanced software. Then, the truth came out. Apple was secretly throttling the speed of older iPhones via software updates. They claimed it was to protect the battery, but coincidentally, it made your phone feel like a brick right around the time the new iPhone launched. Apple eventually settled a lawsuit for $500 million, but that's pocket change to them. And it's not just the software, it's the screws. Look at the bottom of your phone. Those aren't normal screws, they are pentalobe screws, a proprietary shape invented by Apple so you cannot open your own device with a normal screwdriver. They glue the batteries in, they solder the RAM to the motherboard. They do everything physically possible to ensure that when one tiny part breaks, you have to throw the whole thing away. But the most insidious form of obsolescence isn't physical, it's psychological. Companies realized that even if the product doesn't break, they need you to hate it. This was a strategy invented by General Motors in the 1920s called the Model Year. Before the 1920s, Ford made the Model T. It looked the same for 19 years. GM decided to change the shape of the headlights and the fins every single year. Why? To create social shame. If you drove last year's model, everyone knew you were out of date. This is why fashion changes every season. It's why iPhone colors change every year. The product works fine, but your brain has been hacked to believe it is garbage. They turned consumerism into a hamster wheel. You run and run, buying new things, but you never actually get anywhere. So, is there any hope? Actually, yes. A rebellion is forming. It's called the Right to Repair movement. Farmers are hacking their own John Deere tractors because the company uses software locks to prevent them from fixing their own engines. Governments in Europe and parts of the US are starting to pass laws forcing companies to make batteries replaceable and spare parts available. In France, electronics now have to display a repairability score on the box, just like a hygiene rating at a restaurant. If Apple or Samsung wants to sell a glued-shut brick, they have to slap a big red F on the box. Planned obsolescence is not just annoying, it is a tax on your existence. It drains your bank account, it fills our oceans with e-waste, and it insults your intelligence. The centennial bulb in the fire station is still burning today, as a reminder of what we could have. We have the technology to build cars that last 50 years. We have the tech to build phones that last a decade. We just don't have the economic system that allows it. The next time something breaks in your house, don't blame bad luck. Blame the boardroom that designed it that way. If you want to know about the other monopolies controlling your life, make sure to subscribe. Next week, we are looking at why your glasses cost $400. Thanks for watching.